SeraCraft Studio podcast. I'm Sarah, and I'm your host here today. And I recorded my first episode about a week ago and actually enjoyed it. I can't believe that. I have a lot more fun when I am recording with Sarah from Graceland Wool and Kayla from Whips on Sticks when we do the Fiber Girls episodes, but we just have not been able to work that out. So in the meantime, Sarah has restarted her podcast. So she's recording again, and that's Hello Grace. And if you have not checked that out, you should, because her podcasts are so much fun to watch. And then also we'll be recording again hopefully with Kayla soon. At least Sarah and I will be together, and we're trying to work our schedule out with Kayla. So in the meantime, I'll be recording about every other week, depending on schedule. I have family coming in, so there'll be a couple weeks off probably. But so I'm Sarah. I'm owner and dyer behind SeraCraft Yarn. You can find me on Etsy and Instagram as SeraCraft Yarn. Also Facebook. And on Ravelry, you can find me as Sarah M, SERAM. I'll put that all down below. And I have a Linktree link that shows you how to get to everything. It'll take you to the Fiber Girls podcast. I can also put a link for Sarah's Hello Grace podcast below. And then I also started a Patreon account. So if you're familiar with what Patreon is, it's just a way to help support your favorite podcasters and help them get better equipment and be able to bring you content that you want. So I started that, and that's also in the link below. So today I will talk a little bit about what I've been doing this week. It's been kind of a crazy week. This morning we got a lot of snow here in eastern Washington, and it's still snowing. It's beautiful winter wonderland, and I'm really happy about it. And I'm hoping to go out sledding in a little bit with my daughter. And with that brings all kinds of crazy things that can happen on our farm. But our biggest thing this winter has been that our water tank, we have a big water tank out there for all of our chickens and ducks, and we left it on the other night and it emptied out completely. So in order to refill it, my husband had to go set up the hose and get a hose all the way out to the barn, which is on the back half of our acreage. And so that was fun, nighttime in the snow, and water had frozen the line, so it took him a lot of time and effort to do that. And then all the water that had gone into the little pond for the ducks had overflowed, and so there's ice down there now. And it's just fun stuff. So that's what we've been doing this week a little bit. And then I got to have a little date with my son, so that was really fun. We don't get to go on sort of dates together very often. And, before we had my daughter, it was just my son and I a lot of the time when my husband would be working. And now I'm home with my daughter. I get to spend lots and lots of time with her, but I never get to be with Liam. So we decided to have a little date this weekend. We went out, we had Mexican food, and we went shopping, we played. And he's really into stop motion movies right now. And so I found a free stop motion animation for his tablet, and he has been making little movies with Legos and dinosaurs, and that's been really fun. So we did some of that. And my husband took our daughter out, and I thought for sure they were coming home with more ducks. Oh my gosh. Kind of glad that they didn't, but they went to look at little baby ducks, and they went out for breakfast, and they had a nice little day out also. And so it's been kind of busy. I haven't been dyeing any yarn. I just have not had the time or motivation. I just have not been feeling like that lately. But even with all the snow coming down, I'm still thinking about our summer garden, because we'll have to start seeds and trying to figure out what we want to plan for that. We have about 2,000 square feet of garden space, so it's a large garden. And I'm trying to grow more flowers, and I'd like to grow some things to dye yarn with, because I really like to get into natural dyeing, but I really know nothing about it. So I have a book on that, and I am looking at plants for that. And so I'm starting my quest for what plants we want this year. So that's always really fun. but I'm not really ready for winter to be over. I know a lot of people are done, but I really enjoy it. I like cold, I do not like hot weather, and I like to be by the fireplace and cozy and playing in the snow and all of those fun things. But so it's been kind of a busy week. Also, I watch Sandy from Sandy by the Lakeside. A lot of you probably watch her or at least know about her podcast. And she had mentioned Clean Ma website. And I went to that, and I have started doing that program where there's certain days of the week that you do certain tasks around the house, and then there's a catch-all day. It worked really, really well for me so far. I've been doing it for about 3 weeks, I think. And it's working so well. I feel like I'm getting a lot done, but I do not feel like I am constantly cleaning, which is really, really nice. So I've been having more time to play with the kids and do stuff that I want to do, like knit and other things. So that's been really fun. So with all the knitting, because that's what we're here for. So I have been working on the Comfort Fade cardigan, and that's been my biggest project I've been working on. Sarah from Graceland Wool and I are kind of doing a little knit along. Sorry, I keep looking. I'm not sure. I think I'm looking here for where's my giant finger? I am trying to figure out where exactly to be looking because I feel like I should look at myself in the camera. Anyway, hopefully it's all right. So, I've been working on my Comfort Fade, and that's by Andrea Mowry, and I've been really, really liking this project, even sort of when I didn't feel like I had the energy to knit. I've been working on this. So, this is it so far, and I am on the bottom ribbing, and I'm just really, really loving it. I'm using all indie dyed yarn, and if I can remember all of the names and colorways, they're all on my project page on Ravelry, but here I have, this is O Loops. It's her figure 8 base, and the color is the ants, and this is from her Practical Magic collection, which I believe she's going to be bringing back, but I'm not 100%. You'll have to check out Lydia's website for that. And then So Happy Jane in Sassy Ballerina. So I only had a little bit of that, so I just did some. And then it fades into Yarn Less Traveled, and that was called Spring Bouquet. And then into one of Graceland Wool's colorways that was an Advent colorway, and I don't know the name of it. Well, an Advent for me. I don't think that was ever in her shop for anyone, but she and I traded yarn. So I don't know the colorway. I'll find out if she has a colorway name for that and put it on my page. It could have been a one of a kind. And then it fades into, well, I held it double to kind of blend it a little bit, but it comes into hedgehog fibers in Dragonfly. And then the bottom of the ribbing is just Dragonfly. So I have about an inch or so left on the ribbing, and then I go on to the sleeves, so I'm really excited about that. And I don't know for sure. I think it has a nice big shawl collar. I don't have a good picture of it, but I think you guys all know what it is. But it has a big shawl collar, and you pick up all around. And I think it's going to be primarily the O Loops colorway, because I just really love it and want to use as much of that as I can. And I don't have very much of the pinks in the middle here left over, so I think it's going to be mostly the O Loops colorway, and then bringing in a little bit maybe of this at the very edges, but I haven't decided. Kind of going to go see how I go on that one. So that's been my biggest project I've been working on. And then I did a few rows, not much, so I won't really say much about it, but this is my, this is what I usually knit on during ballet when my daughter's doing that. So my knitting time on that's going to change next year because she is moving up in ballet, which is exciting. She's only 4.5 years old. She's been doing ballet for a couple of years now. And she's in their creative dance class, which is, there are ballet techniques and they do have a recital, but she is moving into ballet 1, so that's exciting. And she's going to be the youngest girl in her class, so that's going to be really fun for her, and she'll learn a lot that way. There is never so much joy on her face than when she is dancing, so it's amazing. She does not get that dancing from me, but I love it. So I knit a little bit. I've been working on my sweater there too, but a little bit I've been working on my socks. So I've done a few rows, not a lot. I think they're going to be kind of a shorter leg. I've not had a lot of sock mojo. But that is Desert Vista Dye Works, and the colorway is Zambari It's Cold Outside on her Viso base. And then the cuff is Lolo Did It, and I think that one is Hello Beautiful. I can't find the label, but I think that's what it is, and that's also on my Ravelry project page. And I keep that in one of my favorite bags. This is a Birch Grove bag. Oh God, I love her bags so much. They are just some of my favorite bags. So I've been working on that, and then also I need to work on this, but I haven't been working on it. I mentioned them last time. I thought they would be done by now, but I got distracted with sweaters. See if I have a picture of the Selbu mittens by Skeindeer Knits. And I love these. I have one almost complete. They're so pretty. They're so pretty. And then the other one I started. And so I am knitting those on my carbons, and those are a US 6, which I didn't mention needle size on anything else. My socks, I'll do that. I'll go back to that. Okay, so these are on a US 6 on carbons. And the yarn for those, oh my goodness, I don't know where my tags are. Rama Toomey. And this is a yarn I got at Knit the Studio in Spokane, and it's an alpaca and wool blend, and I love them. I love knitting with this yarn. I would love to do a whole sweater with this yarn. It's so soft, and it's just, I really like the stitch definition, and I like their colors, and I really like this pattern. I don't really know why I put it down. I think it was just because I wanted a break from color work, because at the time I was doing my Birkin and these and some color work socks and a color work hat, and I love color work now, but it was really a lot and I needed a break. So I'm gonna go back and do the thumb, but I wanted to do the other hand first. Then I'll do the thumb on this and the thumb on this. So that's my plan. And that's a really well written pattern. It is a lot of color work, so I don't know that it would be beginner, but I really like it. So I'm going to go back to that. And then, so I don't forget, I'll just mention my needle sizes, because I know that sometimes people want to know that. My socks are just a made-up vanilla sock, and I am using Chowgu. I think on this pair, it's a US 0, a 2.0 millimeter needle, and I'm doing these on Tangled Magic Loop. so that's those. And then for my comfort fade, I'm using my Chowgu interchangeables, and it was a US 5 for the body, or no, US 5 for the ribbing, and a 6 for the body, and that's as called for in the pattern, which I did not swatch for, but it's coming out just fine and it fits great so far. So, and then the other thing I've been working on is my Nightshift shawl, and I've made a little progress. I have not really been paying attention. I've been moving it when I work on it and not really as I podcast, so I don't know where I was last time. But I'm roughly halfway-ish, and I think it's going to block out pretty large too. So that is also an Andrea Mowry pattern, so that's the Nightshift shawl. And I am using Zings on this one, US 8, and that's a 5.0 millimeter. So I've been enjoying that, and that is a whole mix of different yarns. again on my project page. I just don't always remember, and I don't have all of the labels with me, so I can't really tell you. So something else that I'd like to go back to, but I'm sort of having a hard time deciding, is my Zweig by Caitlin Hunter. I haven't worked on it in a really long time, and I love the colors I picked. I love the pattern. It's all my own hand-dyed yarn, and that is, I'll show it to you, and then it's on my everyday fingering base, which is a 75-25, and the main color is called Blue Mountain, and then this purple speckled is called Hyacinth. I have all kinds of needles hanging. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I really like this pattern. And now that I've pulled it out, because I haven't looked at it in a couple of months, I think. Now that I'm looking at it, I really want to work on it again. But I stopped partly because it's so lightweight. And because of this lace panel, it is beautiful, but it's sheer there. You can see through it. And I'm wondering how I'm going to wear it. I don't think it's going to be very warm, and I tend to get really cold in the winter. And so I'm not sure. I didn't really love the look of it when a few people made it short sleeve, but I'm thinking it's so lightweight that maybe I should make it short sleeve. And then again, Sarah from Graceland Wool, she made one, and she used Singles by Madeline Tosh, and it made it heavier feeling and really super squishy and warmer feeling to me, and I kind of wonder if I want to do that, but I haven't decided. I don't know what to do, so I don't know if you have any suggestions. But I won't be able to wear a t-shirt under it, maybe a tank top, but I just don't want to see anything through. I don't want to see a lot through that lace. I just think it will look weird. So, but I love it though. It's so pretty. I really should go back to it. And that one, I think I said, is Caitlin Hunter from Boyland Knitworks. That's a US 5, and it's a 3.75 millimeter, and I'm using Zings for that also. So has my little Santa gnome guy from Sugar Tots from Christy. So I love that product. So I think I'm going to pick that back up, and my plan is to finish my Comfort Fade Cardi and my Nightshift shawl, then go back to some of the projects that have been just sitting on the needles, like the Birkin and the Zweig, and also the these beautiful socks. These are by Tabby from Hey Sister podcast, and this is the Waiting for Henry sock, and I finished this one so fast when I first did it. It just flew right off the needles, and then I put it away, and the second one is this far. I don't know why. I just, again, with the not feeling like socks, I guess. But this is done with SeraCraft Yarn Everyday Twist in Confetti, and then the pink is Lolo did it, one of her little Lolos in Material Girl, and then this purple is just a random scrap that I actually don't know what it is, but it's really similar to my Blue Mountain colorway from my Zweig. So, and then I did the toe in that same pink. So I really want to go back to that as well. And then another project that has been, I have so many things I'm working on, it's kind of ridiculous. But another thing I've been working on that I have on the needles. I haven't been working on it at all. It's in a little bag I made for myself. I need to sew some more. I haven't sewn in a little while, but I sewed this, and I have my cute little nitty pin from Jen at a little nitty in Auburn, and inside of that is this sock again. And I have not gotten far on that either. This is the Morning Coffee Sock by Kay Litton from the Crazy Sock Lady. And I don't think I have a picture. Oh, I do. And I really like it. I really like the pattern a lot. I like the yarn a lot, but I don't feel like you can see the stitch very well. So I may rip it out and do a different yarn. This yarn is very messy cake, but it is. It's so pretty. It has so many colors in it. It's Western Sky Knits in Pretty Bird, and this is their Twinkle sock base. It's focusing on it. Yeah. So I can't decide. I think that's what my problem is. There's certain projects that I'm really loving right now, and I have no problem. I want to knit on them, and I'm happy with everything about it. And then others that I really like the pattern, but I'm not sure about my color choice. And so I just keep putting it in the back of the cabinet. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll pick those back up. I really think that I would like to change the yarn I'm using. So the only other thing that I am working on right now, if I have it, is a little bit of spinning. I started using a drop spindle this year, and it's my first time using it, and it's really, really fun. I do feel like I need to change fibers though, because color is not making me very excited, and so I haven't worked on it in like a week or so. But I like spinning, and I would like to get a wheel at some point. Maybe this year. It's my 40th birthday this year. Maybe I should get a wheel. But I kind of thought that maybe once the kids are both in school full time, that would be a better time, because I would actually have time to spin. But in the meantime, I'm enjoying the drop spindle a lot. I don't really know what I'm doing. I kind of learned from watching a YouTube video, and have picked up little bits of, I have one little thing of fiber, and I just think I need some suggestions on what to use or other resources. So, because I need something a little maybe brighter. I don't know. Maybe that's what it's not very exciting. I don't know. But I like doing it. And then when I'm holding it, I usually have on long sleeves, and it's kind of the fibers draped over my arm. And then when I'm done, I have this like halo that looks like pepper, and I have it flying through the air right now, because, you know, it's draped over and it kind of sticks. And I don't know if that's because of the kind of fiber it is, or that's just the nature of fiber, but it's a wool and silk blend. So anyway, I think that's about it. Let me look at my note. Yeah, that is about all that's going on. I've been trying to, I'd like to podcast every week and have sort of shorter episodes like this. I think that it's very manageable for me time-wise. So I won't feel really overwhelmed doing it. And also I can fit it in between other things that I'm doing with my daughter and house and barn and all that stuff. So I'm going to go and collect some firewood and start a fire, because it's getting chilly and windy, and maybe play out in the snow for a little bit, and then see what podcasts I get to catch up on, because I actually have a little bit of time to watch some today, so that's exciting. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you like what you see here. If you do, please subscribe, like the podcast so others can find it, and maybe share it with some of your friends. I really appreciate all of the positive and really sweet feedback I've gotten. It means a lot. It's a little nerve-wracking putting yourself out there and just basically talking to yourself. And I really appreciate all the nice things you all have said. So thank you so much, and until next time, happy knitting.